Thank you, Mayor Easton. We're live.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening. I would like to call this special council meeting of September the 7th of the town of Lincoln to order. My name is Sandra Easton, Mayor of the town of Lincoln and chair of today's special council meeting. We are meeting electronically through Zoom during this declared emergency period. Members of the public may observe the proceedings by accessing the live webcast at our YouTube channel. The Shononton people have called these lands home for thousands of years, and more recently, the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee have been sharing the land as one dish, one spoon treaty territory. We would like to acknowledge the enduring resilience of the First Nations, Métis and Inuit people who call this territory home. Madam Clerk, would you please complete a roll call so that we can confirm everyone's attendance to establish quorum?
Thank you, Councillor and Deputy Mayor Rajima.
Here.
Councillor Russell.
Here.
Councillor Panchariva.
Here.
Councillor Brunet.
Here.
Councillor McPherson.
Here.
Councillor Micklick.
Here.
Councillor Timmers.
Here.
Councillor Reimer.
Here.
And Mayor Easton.
Yes.
And that we have quorum. Thank you.
In addition, I want to take a moment to welcome the staff we have joining us today electronically. Chief Administrative Officer Mike Kirkopoulos, Fire Chief Greg Hudson, Deputy Fire Chief Bill Blake, Deputy Clerk Devan Crook. Moderating and clerking the meeting today, we have our Director of Legislative Services and Town Clerk Julie Kirkolos. IT staff are in attendance. And also, I want to welcome Acting Chief Bill Thompson of the Town of Grimsby Fire Department. Welcome to Chief Thompson. As this is a virtual meeting, I will ask that we follow some procedures during the electronic meeting. Should there be a connection or service disruption for the chair or if quorum is lost, the chair and or clerk will call a 10-minute recess to reconnect and to regain quorum. If quorum is lost, the meeting will be adjourned. If connection is lost from the chair, deputy mayor, or the vice chair will resume the meeting, and once reconnection is achieved, the chair will assume their role. Each member of council who wishes to speak, please press the raise hand feature on your video call, and the clerk will track our speakers list and then invite you to speak when I open for comments or questions. Also, when I finish reading a motion and announcing the mover and seconder, the clerk will then call out the vote by reading each member of council's name out loud. Please remember to take yourselves off mute during this portion of the meeting so that you can confirm if you are in support or opposed. Also, when not speaking, please remember to put yourselves on mute. Do members have any declared interest? I see none, Madam Clerk.
None.
Do members have any announcements? I see none, Madam Clerk.
Seeing none.
There are no registered delegations this evening. We have no approval of previous council minutes to attend to. And we have no motions to receive and file council information this evening. There are no prior recommendations from standing committees, and there's no notice of motion at this time. There are no municipal reports of municipal officers this evening, and no confidential items on the agenda. We have 6 bylaws for consideration, and we will be separating the bylaws and voting on each. The first item 14.1, being bylaw 2021-62, a bylaw to authorize the execution of a shared service agreement with the Corporation of the Town of Grimsby to undertake a pilot project for the provision of fire protection services. Do members have any questions? I see no questions, Madam Clerk.
I see no hands raised, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Bylaw 2021-62, a bylaw to authorize the execution of a shared use agreement with the Corporation of the Town of Grimsby to undertake a pilot project for the provision of fire services. I'm sorry, my lights keep going off. I don't know why. And so I'm presenting this, Madam Clerk, and the lighting is very bad now. I'm putting this forward. I need be given to approve the following bylaw. And I was looking to see,
So the mover, Madam Mayor, if I may, is it's moved by Counselor Pachariva and seconded by Counselor Micklick, and I can call the vote.
yes, thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Brunei.
Yes.
Thank you. Counselor McPherson,
Yes.
Counselor Micklick,
Yes.
Counselor Pachariva,
Yes.
Counselor Reimer,
Yes.
Counselor Rajima,
Yes.
Counselor Russell,
Yes.
Counselor Timmers,
Yes.
Mayor Easton,
Yes.
and that carries.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Clerk. The next item is 14.2, being 20-21-63, bylaw to jointly establish and regulate a fire department for the town of Lincoln and the town of Grimsby. Do members have any questions? I see
Seeing
no
no hands
questions.
raised.
I have a motion moved by Councillor Reimer and seconded by Councillor Rajima that leave be given to approve the following bylaw. 2021-63 bylaw to jointly establish and regulate a fire department for the town of Lincoln and the town of Grimsby. Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
Thank you, Counselor Brunei,
Yes.
Counselor McPherson,
Yes.
Counselor Micklick,
Yes.
Counselor Pachariva,
Yes.
Counselor Reimer,
Yes.
Counselor Rajima,
Yes.
Counselor Russell,
Yes.
Counselor Timmers,
Yes.
and Mayor Easton,
Yes,
and that carries.
thank you. Item 14.3 being 2021-64 bylaw to appoint Gregory Hudson as the fire chief for the jointly established fire department for the town of Lincoln and the town of Grimsby. Do members have any questions? I have a motion moved by Councillor Russell and seconded by Councillor Timmers that leave be given to approve the following bylaw. 2021-64 bylaw to appoint Gregory Hudson as the fire chief for the jointly established fire department for the town of Lincoln and the town of Grimsby. Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
Counselor Brunei,
Yes.
Counselor McPherson,
Yes.
Counselor Micklick,
Yes.
Counselor Pachariva,
Yes.
Counselor Reimer,
Yes.
Counselor Rajima,
Yes.
Counselor Russell,
Yes.
Counselor Timmers,
Yes.
and Mayor Easton,
Support.
and that carries.
Item 14.4 being 2021-65 bylaw to appoint William J. Blake as the deputy fire chief for the jointly established fire department for the town of Lincoln and the town of Grimsby. Do members have any questions? I have a motion moved by Councillor McPherson and seconded by Councillor Brunei that leave be given to approve the following bylaw. 2021-65 bylaw to appoint William J. Blake as the deputy fire chief for the jointly established fire department for the town of Lincoln and the town of Grimsby. Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
Thank you, Counselor Brunei,
Yes.
Counselor McPherson,
Yes.
Counselor Micklick,
Yes.
Counselor Pachariva,
Yes.
Counselor Reimer,
Yes.
Counselor Rajima,
Yes.
Counselor Russell,
Yes.
Counselor Timmers,
Yes.
Mayor Easton,
Support.
and that carries.
Next item, 14.5 being 2021-66 bylaw to appoint William Thompson as a deputy fire chief for the jointly established fire department for the town of Lincoln and the town of Grimsby. Do members have any questions?
Seeing none.
I have a motion moved by Councillor Micklick and seconded by Councillor Reimer that leave be given to approve the following bylaw 2021-66 bylaw to appoint William Thompson as a deputy fire chief for the jointly established fire department for the town of Lincoln and the town of Grimsby. Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote?
Thank you, Counselor Brunei,
Yes.
Counselor McPherson,
Yes.
Counselor Micklick,
Yes.
Counselor Pachariva,
Yes.
Counselor Reimer,
Yes.
Counselor Regima,
Yes.
Counselor Russell,
Yes.
Counselor Timmers,
Yes.
and Mayor Easton,
Support.
and that carries.
The next item is 14.6, being 2021-67 bylaw to establish a joint fire service advisory committee of the municipal councils of Lincoln and Grimsby. Do members have any questions? Councillor Russell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you, I would like to, for continuity purposes, amend in the terms of reference item 4.1 to read 6 voting members, that being 3 elected members of each municipal council.
All right, Madam Clerk, do you have the amendment?
I do.
All right, we'll vote on, are there any other comments? Councillor McPherson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm looking at this, Madam Clerk, as a procedural issue, and I want to raise it with you in that, you know, when we voted on the governance back in June 14th, and at that point it was 3 committee members, no mention of the mayor being in one of those roles, and I'm looking at this as a change that was not voted on by council to what has been proposed in the report. So I'm looking at our procedural bylaw and looking under reconsidered item previously voted on, and for us to even open this for discussion, we need a 2/3 vote to open.
Madam Clerk, your ruling?
Yeah, so in the draft, or sorry, rather the report that was brought forward in June, it mentioned 3 members of council. It didn't specify the specificity on being who those persons were. It just said 3 members of council. And so in discussions with the mayors, the CAOs, as well as our fire chief, the terms of reference weren't yet drafted at that time. It just said 3 members of council. And so this is the recommendation before you. So it's not a reconsideration. This is just, it's now stated in the terms of reference that is before council, in which we can amend if council so wishes to change what that structure is.
Madam Clerk, if I may, through you, Madam Chair, I have no issue with 3 members of council. The change that was made was you're designating one of those seats to a member of council. So there is a change, and the change was not brought through council for approval. So I would beg to differ with your interpretation of what's happened here, in that we had a vote on it. It was under a governance title in the June 14th report, and it calls out 3 members of council. I've got absolutely no issue with us ending up with the mayor and 2 other councilors going to this committee, but it's a procedural issue that I'm challenging here, that we can't change what was voted on and agreed to back in June as 3 councilors, whether that includes the mayor or not, as I said, but you can't designate now one of those positions to a specific councilor. So I see this as a reconsideration of an item voted on June 14th. And to open that, we need 2/3 vote to agree to it, to agree to open it for conversation.
Madam Clerk, the reference that you made was to, what I heard you say was that the terms of reference were not drafted in June.
No, ma'am.
That is what you said?
That is what I said.
And as a result of making a presentation to the making a presentation to council, did you consider that a draft or an incomplete document? What were your intentions?
Point of order, Madam Clerk, this is not a question of your interpretation. This is a question of what council voted on in that report. So, you know, we can proceed with Councilor Russell's request for amendment. I think the proper procedure here is to take it to a 2/3 vote to open the discussion, to reopen the discussion that was voted on June 14th.
Oh, Councillor McPherson, I disagree with you. This is a matter of what the clerk's intentions were when that report was brought forward, because there was clearly work to be done on it. Now, normally, if you're making a point of order, you're asking me to rule on the point of order. So I'm asking what the clerk's intentions were when it was brought forward. And I believe that is cogent to the discussion here. It's probably not going to change the outcome. And so I would like to ask the clerk again what her intentions were.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. So I have pulled up that report and I'm willing to share my screen there just so that we're all clear on what that governance states, so that we're all on the same page here. Give me one moment and I'll share my screen. Can you confirm that you can see that?
Yes.
Okay, so the governance structure says a joint advisory consisting of 3 members of council and the chief administrative officer from each municipality would be formed during the pilot to act in an advisory capacity regarding the administration of the jointly established fire department and to provide recommendations to ensure that fire protection services are provided throughout both municipalities in an effective and harmonized manner. And the fire chief and the deputy fire chiefs would be included as non-voting members of the committee. It didn't state whether or not they were appointed, how they were going to be appointed, or which members are specifically appointed. And so that's the item I'm trying to convey to Councillor McPherson, is that it wasn't specified. It said 3 members of council. The specificity of it was not included in the structure which you have before you right now.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'm not going to pursue this any further. This is a agree to disagree for no question about it. So let's proceed with Councilor Russell's request.
Mr. Councilor McPherson, I'm not satisfied with that. I believe that the clerk has presented to us what her intentions were on that evening. I would say to you that it's clear that there were 3 members being put forward. And therefore, whether it's a reconsideration or not, Madam Clerk, I guess the next thing I would like to know is procedurally, if council wishes to view this as a reconsideration, are there any issues with us going forward on that basis?
No, if Councillor McPherson wants to put forward that and open up that discussion again, that's up to council on how they vote.
All right, then I'm going to make the ruling that this is a reconsideration and that we will take a vote on this to see if we achieve a 2/3 vote.
Sure.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Councillor McPherson.
So that is moved by Councillor McPherson. I need a seconder for that, please.
Do we have a seconder? I don't see any seconder. All right.
Councillor Brunet.
Councillor Brunet?
I'll second it just to get it on the table to move it along.
All right. All right, Madam Clerk, would you please call the vote. Councillor McPherson, do you have a specific specific wording that you would like to include in the motion in relation to your question?
I don't have a scripted wording. I guess my request is that we vote to reconsider the item under governance from the June 14th report, whether we support a reconsideration or we don't.
Okay.
I can help with the wording there, Madam Mayor, just one
All
moment.
right. In the meantime, I'm going to go to Councilor Regina, Deputy Mayor Regina.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I guess I'm a little bit confused. Maybe it's because it's late, but it's 10:30. The report said 3 members of council. The mayor is a member of council. No matter what we do tonight, the decision is still lines up with what was said in that report, which is 3 members of council. So I'm not sure why we have to reconsider what we voted on in that report.
So we're just voting right now on the fact that Councillor McPherson would like to reconsider what is stated in that. If that fails, we just go back to the bylaw at hand. We discuss that. If there's further amendments to that bylaw, we carry on.
Okay, go ahead. Satisfactory, Deputy Mayor Regina.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Councilor Russell.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I do have an amendment on the table first. So if Councillor McPherson's reconsideration fails, do we go back to that amendment still?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Brunet.
So Julie, sorry, just so we're clear, this is a vote to not reconsider the vote that we set on June 14th.
So I'm not clear on what you've just stated. Your reconsideration
No,
was to,
the vote is to go with what was decided June 14th. So we're not going to open it for reconsideration. That's what the move is. So I'm not suggesting we reconsider what we voted on June 14th. I'm suggesting the exact opposite, that we do not open it for reconsideration.
All right, Madam Clerk, we're having a vote on whether we're reconsidering.
Councillor Brunet.
I am totally confused. I need some clarification here. I'm sorry.
Councillor McPherson has stated he would like to reconsider.
No. I've stated that we will not reconsider. We will not reconsider the vote that was made June 14th.
Madam Mayor.
We can do that, Councillor McPherson. I know the point that you want to make. I think it's clear the point that you want to make. It can be achieved by moving forward with Councillor Russell's amendment.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thank you
So
very
you're
much.
withdrawing your motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a moment, Deputy Mayor, did you have a further comment?
No, Madam Mayor, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, the amendment, Madam Clerk.
So Councillor Russell, you made an amendment. Do you want to state what that amendment was, just for everybody?
Yes, so on item 4.1 of the terms of reference, it says currently 8 voting members with an inclusion of the mayor, 2 elected members of municipal council of each municipality and the CAO of each municipality. I would like to amend that to 6 voting members, those being 3 elected members of the municipal council of each municipality.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Russell.
Okay. And I need a seconder for that motion, please. Councillor Brunet, thank you. And I will call the vote. Councillor Brunet,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Counselor Miklick,
Yes.
Counselor Pachariva,
Yes.
Counselor Reimer,
Yes.
Counselor Regima,
Yes.
Counselor Russell,
Yes.
Counselor Timmers,
Yes.
and Mayor Easton.
Support.
And that carries.
Okay. Now, just a moment. We're going to proceed now then with selecting those members. Okay. Madam Clerk, in accordance with the approval of bylaw 2021-67, being a bylaw to establish a joint fire service advisory committee of municipal councilors of Lincoln and Grimsby, we must now appoint 3 members of council to the joint fire service advisory committee. Madam Clerk, I just want to make sure, I believe we've changed the process as we have it written here. If you would just reinforce publicly what the process is going to be, that would be very helpful.
So right now, council has resolved to alter the membership to 3 elected members. And I just want to clarify that that is also to remove, if we do 6 voting members, that is the removal of the CAO. So that is also captured in there. And so right now we will be opening the floor to nominations for those 3 elected members.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll now open the floor for council to nominate themselves or another member of council. Please, put up your hand. Councillor Pachariva.
Thanks, Your Worship. I would like to nominate myself for that position.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Councillor. Anyone else? Councillor Miklick.
Thank you, Mayor Easton. I would like to nominate myself as well.
Councillor Reimer.
Thank you, Mayor Easton. I would like to nominate myself as well.
Any other councillors? Any other members of council? Councillor Timmers.
Thank you very much. I would like to nominate Mayor Easton. In Ontario, the mayor of each municipality has a specific role prescribed by the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act, the EMCPA. And I believe that the committee structure is very much in line with that. And we should have Mayor Easton sitting on this committee with our CAO and the fire chief and the deputy chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Timmers. Are there any other nominations? Okay, now I need a seconder for each motion. And then the clerk, and then we're going to have each person speak. So Madam Clerk, would you carry out the process for seconders? And then we'll call on each member to speak.
First of all, Madam Mayor, do you accept that nomination?
I do.
Okay, thank you. So now we have 4 members of council that have put their name forward. So we have Councillor Pachariva, Councillor Miklick, Councillor Reimer, and Madam Mayor. And so right now, I would be asking members of council who they wish to vote for. And we can do that as we had discussed earlier in terms of on voting. And so what you would do is that you would be putting, when I call your name, you will be picking 3 members of council and you'll be stating who those members are, and that we will tally up the votes, and whoever gets the most votes, the 3 members will be appointed then. So
Now, Madam Clerk, first we're going to allow each person to speak.
yes, I was just explaining the process.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So, Councillor Pachariva, would you like to put yourself forward?
Sure, I'll put myself forward. Thank you, Your Worship. Being your longest serving member of council and having sat through a lot of iterations of fire and fire protection and also fire master plans and knowing the players in Grimsby, I think I would be an asset, having had a business there and had a working relationship with the Grimsby Fire Department. I think I could help, acquiesce, find us to a middle ground, all of those things. Build a strong advisory committee right off the bat. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And Councillor Mikulik, would you like to put yourself forward?
Thank you very much. I currently only sit on the Transportation Steering Committee for the region. We don't meet very often. There's not very many items to discuss with that committee. I sit on the Planning and Economic Development Committee, and I sit on the Affordable Housing Committee, and that's it. My attendance at council meetings and committee meetings, I don't think I've missed one yet. I think I have a perfect attendance. Throughout my life, I've worked with all sorts of individuals. The one thing I love to do is I love meeting new individuals. I love developing new relationships, always looking to make new friends. As far as my experience with firefighting and firefighters, well, I've been to just about every fire hall in Lincoln. I go to the ham rolls or turkey rolls or you name it. I enjoy communicating with Chief Hudson or Deputy Chief Blake whenever the opportunity presents itself. But I also enjoy speaking to the volunteer firefighters. And should I be selected for this committee, I'd be happy to go on a tour of all the Grimsby fire departments tomorrow. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Reimer, would you like to put yourself forward?
Thank you, Mary. I have a very knowledgeable communities, both from the culture and the background through my line. Supporting has always been a pretty significant part of my life, both on a personal level and a corporate level. And I'm in being part of our service. We have with other qualities, and from a high level, I'd like to be involved in this joint service. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Reimer. And I will put myself forward, members of council. As the mayor, I believe that my position is well supported under section 226.1 of the Municipal Act. And as the mayor, I act as a representative of the municipality within and outside the municipality. And that I foster, the mayor fosters and participates in activities that enhance the economic, social, and environmental well-being of the municipality and its residents. Now, we have very good candidates that are council candidates. However, there is something very unique about this committee. This committee and this process that we're going through is unique across the province, unless the CEO tells me that something has happened in the last few days. There's going to be a lot of eyes on the process at the provincial level and also at the regional level. There's going to be an evaluation. And I believe that the dynamics of two municipalities that don't necessarily have the same vision for their communities is going to be extremely important. We need a coalescing on that vision. And I believe that at least one of the mayors needs to be available on this committee. I'm very sorry that Mayor Jordan will not be joining us. There needs to be balance in the process. It's all going to be very important, as we all understand. I want to thank every one of my colleagues for putting their names forward, and Madam Clerk, that completes my self presentation.
Thank you.
Now, Madam Clerk, I noted that we need a seconder for each, is it for each person?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Right now I have Counselor Pachariva, and I just need a seconder for that.
all right.
Thank you. I've got Counselor Reimer.
Okay, and for Councilor Reimer,
No, hold on one second, sorry. And so the next name is Counselor Miklik, who put his name forward. I just need a seconder for that, please.
okay, Councilor,
Counselor Regina, thank you.
and now Councilor Reimer.
And now Counselor Reimer, if I can just get, oh, two hands, I'll pick Pachariva, thank you. That was the first hand I saw. And for Madam Mayor,
Well, I believe Councilor Timmers.
Timmers, yeah, Counselor Timmers, you can second that. Okay, perfect. So, for, so I'm going to call each member of council, and as I go through the list, you can tell me what your votes are. Okay. So we'll begin with Counselor Brunet. What is your vote, please? So for the four that have been put forward their nominations.
Reimer, Michalak, Pachariva.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. I have Reimer, Counselor Miklik, and
Pachariva.
thank you. Okay, and Counselor McPherson,
Michalak, Reimer, Pachariva.
thank you. Counselor Miklik,
Myself, Reimer, and Pachariva.
thank you. Counselor Pachariva,
Myself, Councillor Michalak, Councillor Reimer.
thank you. Counselor Reimer,
Counselor Pachariva, Counselor Michalak, and myself.
thank you. Counselor Regina,
Counselor Michalak, Counselor Reimer, and Mayor Easton.
thank you. Counselor Russell,
Counselor Reimer, Counselor Michalak, Counselor Pachariva.
thank you. Counselor Timmers,
Counselor Reimer, Mayor Easton, and Counselor Pachariva.
thank you. And Mayor Easton,
Councilor Reimer, Councilor Pachariva, and myself.
thank you. And so the tallied votes are as follows. I have Counselor Pachariva. Counselor Reimer showing 9 votes. Counselor Michalak showing 7 votes. Counselor Pachariva showing 7 votes, and Mayor Easton showing 3. And so the 3 appointed counselors are Counselor Pachariva, Counselor Michalak, and Counselor Reimer.
All right, Madam Clerk, thank you for that. I want to check with Councilor McPherson and ask him if this is what he had in mind when he presented his suggestion for voting.
Madam Mayor, I don't know where that
Councilor McPherson?
question's coming from, but I think it was a fair process. Thank you.
Well, thank you. The reason I asked the question, Councilor McPherson, is because it was my understanding that we were doing this in the form of ballots,
Yes,
individual ballots.
I think it worked well.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thanks everyone who participated. I will, of course, be ex officio on the committee and will be attending, even though I will not be a voting member. Any other comments from members? All right, motion to adjourn then.
No, Counselor, sorry, Madam Mayor. We have a motion moved by Counselor Regina and seconded by Counselor Brunet to confirm the proceedings of the special council meeting. May I read that?
Yes, I always conveniently leave that one out. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. That leave be given to introduce bylaw number 2021-68 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of special council at its meeting held Tuesday, September 7th, 2021, being read a first, second, third time, and that bylaw number 2021-68 be enacted and passed, and that the mayor and the clerk sign and seal the said bylaw. And I will just call out those names. Councillor Brunet,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Micklick,
Yes.
Councillor Pachariva,
Yes.
Councillor Reimer,
Yes.
Councillor Regina,
Yes.
Councillor Russell,
Yes.
Councillor Timmers,
Yes.
and Mayor Easton. And that carries. And we also have one more motion, Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes,
That special council meeting on September 7th, 2021 be adjourned at 10:57 PM, and I will call those votes. Councillor Brunet,
Yes.
Councillor McPherson,
Yes.
Councillor Micklick,
Yes.
Councillor Pachariva,
Yes.
Councillor Reimer,
Yes.
Councillor Regina,
Yes.
Councillor Russell,
Yes.
Councillor Timmers,
Yes.
and Mayor Easton.
for it.
And that carries.
All right, thank you, everyone.